Hello everyone and welcome back to Navisim 101 and welcome to King Shaka International Airport, which is in South Africa, not near Cape Town, quite some distance from Cape Town, but it is in the southern part of Africa, and this is where I find myself on my world tour, still cruising about in my beloved TBM850, and I'm about to board the aircraft for another flight. Now this leg is, I think, leg number 34 or 35. Right, so I'm heading to the Phinda Game Reserve, which is halfway between here and Maputo. So it's about 124 nautical miles, so very, very short flight. Okay, yesterday I flew in from Bisho, which was a little bit further away, and basically stayed the night, and now I'm off again to Phinda Game Reserve. Okay, so it's quite a nice place at Phinda Game Reserve. It's a private place. Basically you can rent out lodges and stuff, and you can get close to the wildlife, see them in their natural habitat, and yeah, sounds pretty cool. Alright, so yeah, so here we are, and this isn't just a leisure flight. We're going to be looking at the GTN750 in quite some detail, from the pre-flight to flight planning, and also the airport that we're going to doesn't have any nav aids, so we're going to be looking at in particular the V-NAV section of the GTN750 and how we can make a proper, or create a proper V-NAV profile into the airport. Here we go. Right, let's close up. Let's get the steps up first, and then we can push the button, close the door here. Good, and just make our way up kind of like sideways to the cockpit. There we go. Alright, cool. Alright, so yeah, welcome to the cockpit once again of the TBM850. Alright, so yeah, we're going to get this aircraft started in just a mo. Okay, and just go through the normal checks. Everything is how I left it last night. No one's been in the aircraft. Okay, fuses seem to be all good. Alright, so let me just put some power to the aircraft. So crash bar is up like that. Now do remember that the crash bar is a switch. Okay, so just to prove that, I'll show you right here. So if we go back to the iPad, you can see here got the battery bus there. If I put the crash bar down, you can see that. There you go. See, nothing's going through at all. So it is actually a switch, not just some fancy thing to turn these switches. Okay, that's cool. So let's just put the nav light on. And looking at payload now, we're only going a short distance, so the fuel is more than adequate. So we don't need any more fuel than that. All right. Okay. And so we don't have wheel chocks, pitot covers, engine covers, don't need external power because we're going to be starting the engines shortly. Okay, so now let's just turn on the radio master. Now the radio master is one of the hot circuits that is running from the crash bar. Okay, for good reason as well. In case of everything going, then at least you've got your navigation here. So notice it only powers up the GTN750 and not the GNS530 there. So you can see here we've got some hot avionics there, chronometers and memories, stall warning, ground clearance circuit. Okay, those come off your crash bar, which is fed directly from the battery. Okay, right, so now checklist. First thing is Utilities and checklists. Okay, so crash lever is up. I tell you what, I'm going to go through a few things, save a bit of time. We're going to do that. Okay, we're going to turn on the main, and we're going to check the oxygen. Okay, oxygen switch down, and emergency light there is working. All right, good. And also ECS, that light is on, and let's put this away. And we've got, oh, not yet. Yeah, those lights are working. Cool, so crash bar source selector is off, generator selector is on main. Starter is off, ignition auto all off, exterior lights all off, gyro instruments all off, emergency light tests completed. Circuit breakers all in, de-icing switches all off, landing gear control, that's off, or on should I say, down actually. Autopilot trim master, that's that one there, that is all off. Radio master, well, that's on, but we've got to keep it on because this is not going to work, so I'll check that, otherwise we can't get through the checklist. Bleed air, all this section here, bleed air, air conditioning off, dump switch, that is guarded, ram air handle, which is this one here. Okay, that's fine. Auto fuel selector, auto auxiliary booster pump. So auto fuel selector is manual, booster pump is off. Check, check. Tank selector, left or right. Okay. Now with the tank selector, you can actually turn it off just by pulling this. All right, so if you want to turn it back on, you literally have to turn it like that to get it back on. Okay, tank selector, left or right, ELT, that's armed. Parking brake is set. Manual override lever, power lever, prop lever, condition lever. So we've got, that's the manual override lever. Okay, this is not supposed to be touched at all. This is for when you haven't got any power, and basically your governor is not going to go through this. Nothing will go from this. You'll have direct control of the prop from this one. It's why it's such a delicate and touchy lever there. What else now? We've got power lever. Yeah, let's check now. We need to put a prop max RPM, and we've got a condition lever, and flaps are up. Okay, cool. That's done. That's done. And flap control is up. Battery bus, we've just done that. Check supply. Source selector. Bat GPU. There we go. Okay, so that's that. Source selector. Volt meter. Exterior lights test. Volt meters 25 volts. Right, done exterior lights test. Fuel gauges, yeah, got that. Advisory panel, we got 1 and 2 install heater. Oxygen annunciator, that is extinguished. That's important because if it's not extinguished, it means that the door that feeds the oxygen refill cylinder is still open, or there's oxygen refill is attached to it. Okay, so interior lights as required, environmental panel or ECS, that's checked. That's this one here. Okay, and flaps down, all the way down. Yeah, that's all the way down. Landing gear panel lights check. So let's just do that. That's checked. That's checked. And now pitot 1 heater and pitot 2 stall heater. Now they're over here. Okay, so we're essentially looking for these 2 lights to go off. So that's 1, that's checked. and that's to install heater as well. That's checked. Okay, good. So checked, and off. De-icing lights test done that. Source selector off. It keeps saying source selector off, but you don't really need to put this source selector off, you know. In the next breath, they want you to put it back on again. All right, next checklist. Okay, so pre-flight inspection is complete. Okay, so that's cool. And yeah, so pretty much we are looking for a startup now. I'm just wondering, before I do the startup, I'm not going to be able to turn here, so I'm going to get a pushback. Let's have a look. See if we can get in contact with control. Right, let's get ground services up. Whichever one. Request pushback. Oops, actually I don't think you can hear that. I need to switch something. 1 minute, I need to switch the... I've got it in my headset at the moment, so you're not going to be able to hear it on screen. So let me just do something. Right, okay, back with you now. Let's try again. Well, I've already requested pushback, so I just about need to... Oh, where is he? Where has he gone? Oh, there he is. Oh, there she is. All right, okay. Just need to release the parking brake. Let's have a look. And there it goes. Right, she's going to go to her left, isn't she? Oh, there you go. That's what I didn't want. I'm going to stop that right now. Request pushback to stop before we hit the other aircraft. There we go. Right, I'm not sure if you heard that, you know. It's still coming through my headset. Why, I don't know. Right, it should be coming through now. Let's see, you should be able to hear the ATIS. Oh, there we go. Alright, let's just get this off. Ground services. Back to clearance. Alright, I don't want to request taxi or anything at the moment. But if I go back like that... Okay, it's done. It's done. Alright, that's good. Okay, cool. Right, where were we? Okay, so setting up. Right. Okay, let's just get this back on. All right, so okay, so let's nose baggage door. That's closed. Engine compartment closed. Cabin access door. All right, that's closed. Okay, and pilot door. Let's close that. Steps are up. Good, green there, that's closed. And parking brake we know is set. Yeah, that's set. And seats, oxygen pressure is checked, oxygen supply is on, passenger oxygen is off, microphone that's done, starter is off, ignition auto or off. So let's switch that to auto. Landing gear control, that is down. Radio master on if clearance is requested, which it is. Okay, let's just get our clearance. Actually, do you know what? It's not clearance we need because we're not IFR, we are VFR. So, yeah, source selector, BAT or GPU. Okay, and checking voltage. It should be around 28, you know. Interesting. Amps, it's good. Maybe battery's just running low. Okay, source selectors on. Horn test, which is up here. That's working. Door annunciator, that is off. Fuel gauge is checked. Sorry, fuel gauge is checked. Auto fuel selector is now auto. Auto select extinguished right there. Down, we've got auto fuel selector shift, which is that one down there. Does indeed shift. And engine instruments checked, and ITT test, that's checked, and we're all good. Exterior lights, just put the taxi lights on. Right, next checklist. All right, so that's cool. So basically we are ready for startup. Okay, so we are definitely all clear. All right, so I'm just going to go for the standard manual start here. Okay, so manual lever is off, power lever, flight idle. Prop lever is max RPM, condition lever is off. And source selector is battery. You can see we got low volt there. Auxiliary boost pump. Switch on. Now when you switch that on, you can hear the auxiliary boost pump going. All right. And aux boost pump light is on. Sorry, that's on. Aux boost pump annunciator is on. Fuel pressure, it's in the green. There. And ignition is auto, and all that's left is for the starter. Okay, so basically, yeah, we're ready to start the engine. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to operate the starter now. Okay, cool. And we are clear, and we're looking for 13% here in G. Okay, we've got starter and ignition there, and we've got 13% where we can put up. Oops, no, that one. Switch into low idle. Starter and ignition is still flashing there, and we are looking for 54%. Prop is going, and looking for the hot start here. 54% is good. Starter off, and we've got the condition lever switched to high idle. Right, so we were looking for hot start on the ITT or a hung start on the NG, and both are operating good. All right, so That's cool. Now our ITT here is quite low today. It's only 691, right? NG 59. So yeah, that's pretty low. Sometimes it goes up to about 820. All right, so you do have to watch your ITT. There are like special procedures that you have to carry out if it gets too high, if it gets over 1,000 for so many seconds, and yeah. So, but today is cool, so we don't need to worry about that. All right, so that's on, and condition lever. So we've done all that. Okay, starter. Yeah, all these are done. Good. And auxiliary boost pump, that needs to go to auto. And you've got these lights off, main gen extinguished, voltmeter. Now it should be 28% because we've got the generator going. And the ammeter, yeah, that's good. And next checklist. Okay, so we need to go to the after engine start checklist. Okay, so good. So gyro instruments all on. So let's switch all these on. Okay, and we want gyro check and gyro slaving. And look at this. This is so cool, isn't it? Just like the real thing. And that is not animation, that is mathematics. That's what the aircraft is looking at to produce this. It's mathematics, not just animation. Alright, so gyro suction, slaving, radio master is on. Okay, prop the ice, so we've got to check these now. Okay, tell you what, I need to put the bleeds on. Okay, otherwise we're not going to get those props checked. Okay, take the temperature down, that's up. And we're going to be going to I think just about 10,000 feet will do it really. Let's go 15,000 feet. Okay. And right, so let's check these now. So we need to put the inert SEP on. Okay, now that's going to put that annunciator on and turn these on, check that they go off, which they do. And let's check. Yeah. Check. Oops. And just cycle those. Now you should actually increase the prop power when you check that. It does actually help it to operate when you're doing that check. It is running off bleed air. Right, those are off. Okay, and that's done. That's done. And yeah, it's all done. And airframe de-ice, that's done. Yep, inertial SEP is on. Ammeter below 50. Yeah, it's good. Voltmeter 28, check that. Ammeter, the amount of times it just tells you to keep going back and check the same things in the same checklist. Generator selector main flaps. Let's put those up. And that's indicating bleed air is on, fan flow is all good, air conditioning is on, cabin temperature, set that airflow distributor, which is this one here. Okay, weather radar, we'll put that to standby. If you want to find out a bit more about the weather radar, then do check out my video on the TBM systems on the channel, and you can get a detailed explanation as to what this does. So we won't be playing about with this today. Do need to set this up to 15 though. Cool. Okay, EFIS, that's all around here. Sorry, EFIS is here. And then we need to turn on the autopilot trims master. Alright, so EFIS master, AP trim master, EFIS source here, I forgot what that stands for. Which is right there, that's to the left. Okay. Electric trim. Yeah, that's working. Taxi light is on. and enunciator that is on. Parking brake is right. Okay, so we are up to taxi basically. All right, cool. Right, so now before we start taxiing, let's go to our checklist. Sorry, not checklist, sorry, flight plan. Right, so we're at King Shaka International and destination is Foxtrot Alpha Delta Quebec. Alright, enter. Alright, now this airport is not in Navigraph, okay, and as this system is using Navigraph, well, it is actually here on the GNS, but I can't get it actually up on a Navigraph on the desktop. It's not listed. Okay. Right, cool. So if we have a look here, we can see that our direction basically is straight east, northeast, really, kind of. All right. So if I just show you this, let me just show you. Right. So here we are. So we're at basically in Durban at the moment. Okay. Now this is where I am on my world tour. Okay. I did actually do a video on some time back on one of these legs on the channel. I think that was the last video I did some time back. All right, and you can see here. Now I will provide a link to my map here. Literally is my map, just to give you, if you want to keep up to date with me on how far I am. So yeah, you can just save that link, and yeah, it'll bring up this map for you. All right, so here we are. So as you can see there, quite a short leg, and we'll be heading out to Phinda Game Reserve. Then it's Maputo, and then we're going to be crossing over to Madagascar, and then around here. So yeah, still got quite a way to go, seriously, on this world tour. Started way back in February. Look at this. There you go. That's February. Okay, so yeah, so do keep up with me. All right, I do upload information and pictures as well. As you can see here, we've got pictures. Okay, 10 photos there of the tour. Okay, all right, good. So let us go back here. All right, now you can look at the map in two ways. Okay, you can actually look at it this way, or you can actually go to utilities and go to this map here, which is where you can actually pull up different maps here from Navigraph right there. Okay, so we'll switch that to VFR daytime. All right, good. All right, so you can see it's quite a direct flight. Okay, but we're going to be just having a look at one or two more things here on the GTN750 when we get to our cruise altitude. Okay, which we won't be there for very long. Okay, so anyway, that's our flight plan. Now let's go to get our weather once again. So altimeter is 1023. Let's just wind that up. 1023 3021. Okay, well, we'll leave that there. And winds north-northeast 020 out of 20 at 5 knots. Visibility is 10 kilometers, and temperature is 18. Okay, and dew point is 16 degrees. So we got some cloud layer broken at 4,900 feet. All right, so yeah, okay, good. All right, so that's that. Now, at this airport, if I get the weather, I'll be surprised because there's nothing there, just nothing, absolutely nothing. Okay, so yeah, that's the way it is. Okay, waypoint info, let's go to charts. We are just going to go straight out. Ready, airport information here. Okay, runway 6, I believe they said on ATIS that we're using, so pretty much be taxiing out. Okay, wow, that's pretty cool. Look, so basically on my left, straight down towards the end, and then left, and then basically out on runway 6. Good stretch of runway there, so no problems. All right, that's cool. All right, so anything to look out for when approaching runway 24? That doesn't concern us. Okay, and yeah, I think we're all good. Okay, so 12165, which we're on at the moment, to contact ground, and control tower is on 11845. 845. We'll just transfer. No, we don't want to transfer that. Sorry. Let's transfer it back. You can actually just tap on it like that to transfer it back. Okay. There we go. Right. Okay, so that is that. Now, there are no nav aids in this area. Okay, we've got one VOR just there, but there really are no nav aids. Okay, but we're going to do something with that. I'll explain more when we get airborne. Okay, so let's do a zoom in. Now, with this one, okay, if you want to zoom into a particular spot, so just click on the screen like that. So, for example, we want to click in or zoom in on our plane or airport. So, basically, if you click on the screen, the part where you want to zoom in like that, then when you zoom in, it actually just centers on that. Sorry, where did I put it? Well, that's what it is. Oh, look, see, I didn't actually. Got to zoom in a bit more, like so. There we go. Okay, so you can see now, wherever you click, that's where it's going to zoom in. All right, good. So we're ready to roll. Okay, checklist. The next two things is parking brake and toe brakes. Okay, so we're just going to get clearance. We're going to change this to GPS. Heading for the runway is, oops, sorry, 06. Let's see what. Let's get that from the charts. Get it more accurately here. So 062. That's 062. Right, it's 1, 2. Okay, good. And we've got this on GPS. And we're going to be setting our altitude right here, which we're going up to 1,500 feet. And we're going to be, oops, let's go quickly, 2,000. Okay, cool. Engaged. Okay, now once you press engage, then you can see that you've got the arrow pointing up. It's armed, and you can see over here we've got Alt and Flight Director is on for us. Okay. Right. Now, if you press this test button, you won't be able to use this for 30 seconds, okay, because that's going to be going through its own self-test. Okay. Right. Okay. So let's get clearance then. Request a taxi. So we're going to be departing east.
Ground TBM November 85 to Papa Sierra with Oscar request taxi for takeoff east departure.
TBM November 852 Papa Sierra taxi to and hold short of runway 6 using taxiway. Contact tower on 118.45 when ready.
Taxi to and hold short runway 6 using taxiway TBM to Papa Sierra.
Taxiway what? Taxiway Charlie, I think you want to say. Alright, good, we got clearance. That's all cool. And we are indeed clear. Right, let's just get myself on these rudder pedals and let's just take the parking brake off, hold the aircraft and brakes off, and we can go. Right, so be careful with this aircraft because it really does love to taxi very quickly indeed. Alright, that's why you have this beta here, which is switchable. You can actually switch that off if you want to via the iPad. But basically, when you push the prop past a certain point, right, which is like the taxi gate, I'll show you. Just stop here briefly. Right, so you see here you've got like a taxi gate, which is this one here. See, so when you push the lever beyond there, that beta goes off. Right, you are out of like taxi speed control limit, if you like. Okay, it doesn't actually, you know, slow you down if you taxi too much. What it does, it's just a little light really that watches how far you push the power. Nice easy taxi, that's what I like. Ooh. There's a lot of latency in this this aircraft, it really is, you know, and what I mean by that is when you move the prop, the engine literally powers up like about a few seconds later. It's just late. Okay, so we're going to stop here and set parking brake. Okay, so before we request takeoff, then we're going to just go through a couple of checks now. We're going to put this up to 19. Okay, on the prop, see it there? A bit tricky to get that back on 19. See, it's just really, oh my goodness, late. There you go. All right, so we're going to cycle through the prop, bring that right down and back up again, and then down and back up again fully. Okay, now before we put the power down, I'm going to check the control governor. Sorry, not control governor, this reminds me of something else. Right, so that's good. Okay, it's the prop governor rather. Okay, that's done. So yeah, that's a couple of parts on the checklist we've completed. So let's just go back to our checklist. Utilities checklist, parking brake, tow brakes. We did check that. Right, so before takeoff checklist is where we are now. Terrain test. Okay, test. Annunciator test. Okay, that's done. Okay, warning lights, power lever. Yeah, so we've done all this just now. Okay, prop governor, power lever, fuel imbalance. There's no fuel imbalance. Auto fuel selector is auto. And auxiliary booster pump is auto. Alright, auto fuel selector shifted to fullest, flaps as required. So we want flaps in the takeoff position. Flaps and pitot 1 and 2, yeah, they're all on. Okay, well when it's off it means it's on. When the lights are off it means it's on. De-icing, don't need that. Got inert sep on, advisory panel all off except these two here. Flight controls and rudder. Okay, that's all checked. Good. And ammeter, once again, very important to check that. Trims as required. Parking brake release. Strobe lights on. All right, so we're going to go and get our clearance. Right, request takeoff.
Tower TBM November 852 Papa Sierra ready at runway 6 departure to the east.
TBM November 852 Papa Sierra wind 047 at 5. East departure approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 6.
Cleared for takeoff runway 6 TBM to Papa Sierra.
Right, good. We are cleared for takeoff. Okay, so parking brake released. So I need to put this on. I can't. Strobe lights on. Lights on. Strobe lights on. Strobe lights on. Okay. Good. Now we do have another takeoff checklist. Altitudes checked, altimeters set. Yeah. Altitude selector, weather radar is on, landing lights are on, ignition, interior lights, cabin, transponder is set, and the parking brake released. Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's go. Let's leave King Shaka International Airport. Now we could have actually started off midway down the runway, but I always like to have the full runway, you just never know. Right, just check our HSI, which really we should have done that checklist just before taking off really. Yeah, that's good. So, alright, let's power up and let's go, guys. Got a headwind just there. 85 knots. We're off. Positive right, gear up.
TBM2 Papa Sierra continue for east departure. TBM2 Papa Sierra leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
Tower TBM November 852 Papa Sierra frequency change.
This is cool because we don't have to do any turns or anything. Do you know what? I forgot to take pictures actually. Oh man. Sorry, just want to do a little snapshot for the what do you call it? The report. I normally take one when I'm on the ground, but I just forgot totally about that. Alright, so we're lined up. Right, so now let's just switch to autopilot. Okay, autopilot, your damper, and we're at 122. We can actually take our flaps off now, and when flaps have been confirmed off, we can switch to 850 mode. And when we do that, notice that the power there is going up, so we need to control that torque. Okay, that torque needs to be controlled, otherwise you're going to get an ITT alert. Okay, so that torque is right there, just on 104, which is the red line. And right, and now that is climbing, so that's going up to 150, and we're at 2000. Okay, so what I'm going to do is switch to IAS. Okay, like that. Alright, that way it's actually monitoring your speed. It's keeping, basically, it's going to keep us at 150. So that serves as a safeguard, really, so that, you know, if like something happened and, you know, I forget to aviate, navigate, communicate, then I'm busy trying to figure out what the problem is, especially on takeoff. If you're not monitoring your airspeed, which has happened to me. I've really got down almost to dirty stall speed, and it became quite dangerous. So yeah, reason for IAS is that you don't have to worry about that. It really is monitoring the speed for you. Keep it there, and just raise and lower the nose to do that. Alright, good. So yeah, we are course. Okay. So checklist, taxi lights, not yet landing lights. Right, another picture. Right, now you see that the nav has gone off. Okay, do keep an eye on this unit here. The nav does switch off for some reason. I don't know why, but it does switch off at times, and you could be just a free flying. That's why it's always good to have your heading set. There we are, lovely coast there, look at that. Look at the waves washing up, very nice, very nice. Beautiful. Right, 10,000 feet already. Right, so let's just go to checklist. So taxi lights off, landing lights are off. Okay, so that hasn't cleared, so there's something that we haven't done yet. Parking brake. Right. There you go. Okay, next checklist. So climb checklist, landing gear is up. Flaps are up. Power lever is checked. We can actually increase a bit more on the power, slightly. Okay, and cabin altitude, that's checked. Okay, there is another way to check your cabin altitude. So go to your iPad here and go to your cabin, and there you will see where you are in your cabin altitude. Okay, and there's your engine there. There's a lot on this really that could speak about. Keep saying I'm going to do a video on this, but it just hasn't come around yet. Alright, and so that's done. Cabin rate, that's up. Cabin diff, cabin temperature, which is 20 degrees. We can turn that down slightly to about 18. Fuel quantity, that's checked. De-icing, don't need it. Inertial separator, you can turn that off. And when you do turn that off, you'll find that the speed will go up. I really like to be cruising about or climbing about 170. Right, there we go. See, that's ITT, so you torque there. So that needs to come back down. Now, whenever that happens, you are degrading your engine slightly. Inertial separator. Okay, next the checklist, which is the transition altitude. Okay, so that's gone up again. Watch that. There you go, it's down. Okay, transition altitude. So we're at 15, so we can actually now bring down our power lever. Doesn't need to be racing as much as that, so we're going to bring it down to about 88% if we can get it there, and also bring the prop down. Okay, hear the sound go down. It's so much more comfortable. It's not beating itself so much. Right, cool. So altimeters. Sorry, we didn't check that. We want 29992. Okay, actually, do you know what? I'm going to press B because we're only at 15,000 feet, so it's not actually re-registering 2992. So it's at 1022, so we're going to leave it there. Okay, altimeters, cabin pressure monitor, pulse lights, don't need that. Okay, that's off. We got a clear panel there. Okay, next checklist, which is the cruise. Power lever, check that. Fuel, checked. Cabin pressure, de-icing, inertial sep, checked. Ignition, next checklist, which is the descent one. Okay, cool. So let's just have a look at our flight plan. We got 97 to go. Okay, so pretty much I'm just going to start going through the descent really. Okay, that 97 is going to go pretty quickly, so let's just have a look at the map, see where we are. Actually, do you know what? Sorry, before I do that, let's just select this. Nope, that's what I like. I like this on, so I can, while I'm actually looking down here, I can see if there's any other aircrafts in the vicinity. Okay, so let's just switch that to on. Click OK, push, and that starts up flashing, and there we are. We can see within this ring, that's a 6. Let's increase that a bit. 12, 24, 24 nautical mile ring around us. If any other aircrafts are getting near while I'm actually looking down here. So right now you can see here we zoom out a bit. We can get our aircraft. Now this aircraft is very fast. You know, look how far we've gone already. Okay, so literally gonna have to be thinking about descent. Okay, so very quickly I want to go to this one, okay, and go to our V-NAV. Okay, now you see we've got a V-NAV profile, which is what I want because there's no nav aids or anything at Phinda Game Reserve. Okay, and I want to get some guidance as to my descent. Okay, now it's going to be a visual approach, so can't get away with that. But you notice here that there's nothing here. Okay, that's because we've got no nav aid installed or up. Okay, so to get that, if we go to the home page, go to the map. Okay, so basically, all right, I'm going to take a right turn actually. So let's just go to heading, make sure we have that set first, and then I'm going to go to heading. Right, I'm going to slow the aircraft down a little bit. Kind of like need a bit of time. See how fast we're going. It's crazy. Aircraft is more fast. Okay, I'm going to just turn to the right. It's going to buy us some more time really, and plus our airport heading, our runway heading is off to the right anyway, so I'm going to turn it this. Okay, that's a lovely snapshot there. I'll get that. Right, okay, so now, okay, if, no, we're actually kind of turning back. Let's go, let's just turn it. We don't want to go back. Okay, let's just try and get it on kind of a base leg, which is, I think, round about there. Just a little bit more left. Get that on a base leg, like so. Alright, and our speed, okay, 180. Okay, keep an eye on that. Right, so now, as I said, we don't have any nav agents in this area, so we're going to have to descend. I want to descend to a point where I can kind of like make a kind of like a 3-degree approach to the runway. Okay, now the runway itself is 152. Okay, you can see here it's 152 feet. Okay, so if we go to map, right, I want to be 10 nautical miles, so I'm going to click, if you click on the page here like that, okay, you notice this here, you can actually create your own waypoint. So I'm going to click that, okay, and there you can see that yellow box there. Now that's your user waypoint. You have to give it a name. I'm going to call it ADQX, okay, that's the waypoint there, and create. Okay, now user waypoint added. Okay, and then we're going to go back. Okay, flight plan, add waypoint ADQX. Okay, enter. Notice there that it automatically puts your waypoint in. Now I've actually clicked it back 8 nautical miles away from the airport, which is about right. Okay, and I want to be about 3,000. So right now you can put the height that you want to be at. Okay, so 3,000, enter. Okay, and that should give me a nice at 120 knots, 100 knots, say, yeah, you can put full flaps here. Anything below 122 full flaps, so that should give me a nice 3-degree descent onto the airport. So click save, and we've got that there. So have a look at the map there. Okay, now if we go to utilities again, okay, now you can see ADQX is there, but it's not up yet. That's because we're a bit too far away. Okay, so let's go back to our map, see where we are, zoom out. We might have gone a bit further out than we wanted to. No, we're not. No, we're not. We're fine. Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay, we can actually tune in that if we want to. So I can flight plan, add to waypoint RBV, enter, and that's the closest one. Now I don't want that actually, because that's before, so I can take that and actually insert before like this. Sorry, no, let's just remove that. Remove, yep, okay. Just check the speed, everything. It's good. Okay, so I can go to add waypoint RBV, enter. No, clicked it too soon. RBV. Wait till it comes up. Right, so now I should be able to insert that before. It's interesting. Oh, no. Sorry, I'm doing it wrong. Wrong. Remove. Okay, so click on ADQX. Right, now you can insert before. Then click RBV, and then wait till that comes up. And there we are. That's the way to do it. And you can see there that we're going to go to RBV before. Okay, and we can tune in RBV. Right, let's go to nav. Right, you can actually do a direct to, so you can go like direct to flight plan and RBV like that, and activate, and there we are. You can see it kicks in. If it's not kicking in quick enough, you can do that. So yeah, we've got it in now, so we can see that it's just 11.2 nautical miles to the RBV VOR. Okay, and you can see here it's got a top of descent for us. So let's go back to our utilities and V-NAV. Okay, now it's got ADQX up. That's the fix user waypoint that we put in. Okay, now it's got vertical deviation here. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you. Now, it doesn't mean that we are going up or down. This basically is acting as like a countdown counter. Okay, so yeah, basically this is telling you you're getting closer to it. So we are still at 15,000 feet. Okay, but this is like showing you how long it's going to take you to get to top of descent. So that's 5 minutes. Okay, so yeah, so that's good. Utilities map. Okay, that's where we are, and you can see that our user waypoint is actually in there as well, right there. See that? Cool. Okay, what I like about this map is that if the aircraft is off, you just click center and it just centers you back, really. Right, so let's just put a bit more power up. A little bit more prop. Okay, I'm going to put decision height for 200. Right, 2.7 to the VOR. So now here you can actually select IFR, day, get the IFR map up. So all this is coming from Navigraph, really, which is really cool. Right, so in top of descent right there. Okay, so this basically is where we're going to start doing our descent down toward the runway. Hopefully that works out right. Alright, so top of descent is fast approaching, so let's go to home, utilities and V-NAV. Right, so you can see now this figure is rapidly descending, going down. So basically what we need to do is set 3,000 feet here, like so. Down to 3, like that. Okay, and then click on this one here, and we've got to wind that back because the arrow has got to be facing down. You see that there? It's gone down now to, I'm going to make that 2,000. Okay. All right. So that's 85 feet now. Okay. Now when it goes to 0, we're going to be on our descent profile. Now I've deliberately let it go up or over just to show you that the minus sign means that you're above your descent profile. Okay, so let's just now engage this. Okay, you can see that we are going down to 2,000. We're going to reduce the speed a bit. Okay, and now we actually have to catch up. Okay, that's going down. So our target is 1,400. So if we just go down to 14. Now if we keep it at 2,000, it's literally going to go under our descent profile, okay, once it gets to 0. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to slow down the descent profile to 14, like so, and you can see that number now is slowing down. Can you see that? It's not even moving at all. 15815. So let's put it up to 15. Sorry, yeah, 15, 16, just to let it go down a bit. There we go. Let's set 17. There we go. Now let's increase it back up to. Oops, sorry. Just turning the wheel the wrong way. 13. Okay, so that's fine. That's fine. We're slightly above, but that's fine. Okay, we can just increase that a bit to 14. That will gradually come down. There we go. That's going to come down. Alright, so yeah, so we're nice little now descent profile. 200 knots, we're going to bring that down a bit. I want to bring it down to about 180. Right, we've got 27 nautical miles to go before our user created fix. So that's going down there, 20. Let's put that down to, was it 11? 11, and you notice now that we're on 1100, it should roughly keep us. That's perfect. If it keeps like that, that'll be really good. But you can see that it's not really doing much else. Right, so 1100, 1129, 1126, all these figures here, and you can see that we're on a 3-degree descent path, which is perfect, really. So there we go. All right, so we are now descending towards our fix, which is right here, and we should get there bang on our descent profile. So you can see right here that we've got it's drawn out for us a nice curve round, and you can see the name of our fix there, ADQX, and at 3,000 feet. Alright, so we're going to check in time to time on that V-NAV 35, and we just need to keep making continual adjustments there. So that's to 1,000, just to slow that down a bit. We don't want to just get too far away from our profile. So that's 42, 43, and that's going back up. It should go back up. Okay. Alright, that's good. Right, so we got 6 minutes to bottom of descent, as it says there. Alright, so let's just go through our checklist now. Descent altimeters. Now we already are on local. We don't have any weather for this. We did check, didn't we? There is nothing. Or is there? No, there's nothing. Yeah, we did check that already. So nothing at all. We just know that our runway, we are going to be landing on runway 35. Okay. So, yeah, that's that. Okay, just checking the descent profile once again. 38, yeah, that's cool. That's all good. Right, just 15 nautical miles away now. That went quick. Right, so where are we? Back on descent profile 57. That's saying 1001. So now let's have a look. If we decrease that, let's see where it takes us. That's increasing, so we need to increase it. You can see it's going the other way. So we're slightly above. Let's just increase our descent profile a little bit more. Okay, now decrease it back to 1,000. There we go. Right, where were we? Descent checklist. Utilities. Oh no, come on. Checklists. Right, altimeters set to local. Cabin altitude. We need to put that down to 0. Good. Pulse lights on. And we should have had our lights on. All of them. Okay, de-icing. Don't need it. Inertial set. Okay, we're going to put that on. And this actually acts to slow us down as well. Just make sure you're below 200 before you put the inert separator on. Okay, airflow distributor is required. ignition, fuel and quantity check, auto fuel selector shift to fullest, left is the fullest, yeah, that's on left. Okay, inert set, that's on. Okay, next checklist before landing. Okay, cabin lights, well they're off, altimeter's checked, decision height is set, fuel and quantity balance, inert set is on, so let's just do that now. Okay, so we'll leave that there for now, and we've got 7.9 nautical miles to go, and you can see just through the break in the clouds there, you can see a bit of terra firma. Right, okay, now, thing I haven't checked, let's have a look at the runway, point info, runways, runway length of 4535, okay, that's fine. Okay, so 899. Okay, let's just decrease that. Get that going backwards. That's what we want. Okay, 3.7 nautical miles. Okay, so we need to get ready for our interception, basically. Okay, so from here, when we get here, basically we're going to be in that 3 degrees descent. Okay, nearest airport. FADQ. Where we are, roughly base leg.
Foxtrot Alpha Delta Quebec, traffic TBM November 852 Papa Sierra is on base runway 35.
We're going to continue descending at around 500. Right, so base is just going to be a visual from here, and now it's final.
Foxtrot Alpha Delta Quebec, traffic TBM November 852 Papa Sierra is on final runway 35 to land.
Right, so we can put the first stage of flaps. We are below 178, just check that. Flaps down and indicated, and landing gear down as well, below 178. Right, I think I can just about see it down there, so I am going to slow the aircraft down quite a bit and take off autopilot. I can see the airport just there, so I'm just going to take a screenshot. for the what do you call it? The my maps. Right, so let's just go back to our before landing checklist. Where are we? Checklists. Okay, so prop. We want prop full. Okay, flaps. Full flaps. Okay, just right. Prop. Landing gear down, indicating flaps are full. Okay, landing and taxi lights on. Autopilot disconnect. Flaps. Come on, a bit more power before we lose it all. 85 is the landing speed. Okay, so pretty much now just looking out there, visual. Bring that speed down. Keep it on 85. A bit more trim. So keeping it round about 600. There we don't have the luxury of having PAPs, so we're pretty much going to have to just guide ourselves in. But we look okay. See a problem with that. Just keeping that 85. Continue. Oh, just make sure our landing gear is above those trees. Okay, set it down, set it down, set it down. And reverses. And welcome to Phinda Private Game Reserve. Nice. That was cool. Nice short flight that was. Enjoyed that. And quite a nice long runway as well. Do you know what? On this world tour, right? I've been a bit like over ambitious, and some of the airports, right, that I've actually pinned on this tour is I think it's really over ambitious for this aircraft. I think, right, that I am probably going to have to like skip those. Just want to get a picture. There we go. Quick. Ooh. Yeah, I think that's a bit over ambitious. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. You know, this is the TBM850. You know, it's not gonna. Well, I don't know. I haven't pushed it beyond its limits yet. This must be a really nice place, you know, to come in South Africa. Yeah, it must be really nice to come here, spend, you know, a week and just be close to wildlife in their natural habitat, you know. can see the windsock is down, so yeah, no wind there on our approach, which is always good. Look at this. I wonder if there's anyone to welcome me. I mean, come on, look, someone's got to be here to welcome me. I mean, how many times? Oh, look, there's someone over there. Got a party over there. Oh, nice. How many times do you get visitors on the MSFS Phinda Game Reserve? Come on, how many times do you get visitors? Oh, look, nice. They've even put on a coach for me. Cool. Let's take flaps up. I didn't expect that. I really didn't. Oh, it's so nice of them. Oh, this is so cool. Take me to my lodge. All right, lovely. So we are here. Let's parking brake on. Okay, and now shutting down. Just let the engine. Just take the prop basically down. Okay, and just let that spin for a few seconds. Checklist. That's landing. After landing, taxi lights on. Oh, I should have turned off these really. Okay, strobe and all that. Okay, strobes, landing lights, de-icing systems, inert, set that on, checked. Bleed air as required. Okay, we can turn all those off really. You can open up this door. Now before you open the door, always check your air pressure that it is down. Well, we were only at 1500 feet, so not really much of a problem. Okay, so we can shut this down. You hear that? Hear the engine there going down? That's nice, isn't it? Aft. Cool. All right. That was a nice short flight. Enjoyed that. That's so cool. What else? We turn this off. That should have been turned off, really. But as it's just a small airstrip, we'll just dispense with some of the normalities. Weather radar off. Flaps up. Yep. Oxygen supply off. Ignition off. Right, turn this off. Off. That's off. What else? Yeah, these are all off. Cool. So oxygen supply is off. Next checklist. Don't need that. Shutdown and securing parking brake is set. Taxi light is off. Bleed air off. Cabin diff depressurized. Fan low. Air conditioning is off. Power lever. So it's idle for 1 minute. We've done that. Prop feather for 15 seconds. Condition lever cut off. Auxiliary boost pump off. And auto fuel selector. Yeah. Off. Tank. Okay, let's just pull that off. Inertial set. We can turn that off now, really. And these two. Can you hear it? Exterior lights all off. Gyro instruments all off. No, they're not. Ethos Master, yep, off, they're off, generator, say, generator selectors main, well that's been main all the time, Radio Master off, source selector, crash lever down, so yeah, pretty much, well, when I turn this off, that's going to sort that out, isn't it? Okay, let's clear that down, and the nav lights off, crash lever pretty much down. Yes, that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Yeah, I'm going to spend a few days here, enjoy myself, take a look at the fauna. I wonder, actually, do you know what? I wonder if I'm going to see any MSFS, what you call it, fauna around. You got a helipad there as well. So just gonna get to my coach. Oh, look at that! It's just really lovely, isn't it? I'm just gonna register, see these guys, and let them know who I am. And yeah, I just head on to my lodge, which is just over there, and then got me a coach. Oh dear. Well, it might not be. This might be just the airport. Lodge could be somewhere a bit further than here. I don't know. Really nice. And this is the cool thing about, you know, doing like a world tour. I mean, I would never come here if I wasn't on the world tour. Simple. I wouldn't come here, you know, got no need to. And that's why I encourage you guys just to get on a world tour, you know. It's brilliant, absolutely is. Takes you to new places in MSFS, and if you download, now this is not default, airports in Microsoft Flight Simulator now, they're not going to give you this. You have to download this. That's very nice, isn't it? Or get the no, I don't think it's in the Africa airports package. I think you can actually you can actually download this separately. Cool. Well, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and you know, I may do more of these, you know, as my tour goes on. Yeah, I may do a little bit more. Alright, that's it, guys. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care for now. Bye bye.